Good day, fish tankers. Do you fancy breeding a couple of fish, selling them on for a couple of bucks, maybe for a little side hustle or helping to support your hobby? Well, this is not a how to breed a certain fish video. This is a what to breed. I've given it some thought and I've decided to make this video about a fish that if I were to breed fish now to sell on for a profit, that I'm pretty sure I would be able to sell and that would work. And maybe two hypothetical fish that are not yet in the hobby and maybe they can, with a bit of expert breeding, be there, and I'm sure they will be a hit. If you're interested to find out what they are, then stick around. Breeding fish is not something that I specialize in or have ever really specialized in, but I've dabbled in it somewhat. As you guys who've been following this channel know, I've got a colony here of emperor tetras, some cherry bobs, as well as diamond tetras that regularly produces youngsters. But that sort of colony breeding, they sort of all keep replacing the older ones, and it's just something nice to have. In the past, I've tried my hand at breeding discus, and you know, I succeeded in having them spawn, but you know, I couldn't raise the youngsters. I know now what I've done wrong years later with some wisdom, but that is my point. If you are going to breed some fish, you want to breed fish that sell. Now, discus is one thing, but that's for a very particular sort of market. I thought because they are so expensive, I'm going to make my millions selling discus, and you'll need a market for those fish. And if you think about it, they require big aquariums, and not everybody has a budget or has the space for a tank that size. Now, if you were staying in the Stellenbosch, Somerset West area, Cape Town area where I'm staying at, and you've got soft water coming, acidic soft water coming out of your tap, there's one fish that I would breed, and if you think about it, it fits into a trend. You know, planted tanks are all the rage, and what goes nicely in planted tanks? Tetras. What is the most colorful tetra? Now, I think that's a cardinal tetra, so I would breed cardinal tetras because they're great in a planted tank. For water coming out of a tap is soft already. You won't need massive tanks to do it. And if you look at it, how it's evolved over the years, you know, neon tetras used to be a rarity in hobby back in my dad's day. Now they're quite inexpensive. Not an expensive fish, as you can see there, the neon tetras. But now if you go to cardinals, they used to be a lot more expensive than they currently are in hobby, and there you see they're a little bit more expensive than your neon tetra, but still, you know, the price is relatively close together. They're not that expensive and they are in high demand. Always, people always want cardinal tetras for planted tanks or even just community tanks. And if you're looking at neon tetras these days, you're looking at the neon tetra, you think, it's only a little bit more money. You can have a cardinal tetra, it's slightly bigger, it's got better color. Why not? So if I were to breed fish for profit, if I had space in the garage for a rack of tanks, given the water that comes out of my tap, the fact that planted tanks are all the rage in a freshwater hobby, and this is a very, very popular tetra, then that's what I would try my hand at. I will breed cardinal tetras. Now the other two that I thought about are sort of hypothetical. But if we think about it, look at what bettas are today with all the finnage, all the fancy colors, and look what fancy goldfish have become with all these funny shapes and all that. Now, I'm not saying you should do that. My point being is that a really skilled breeder can develop a line and breed in certain characteristics of a fish to make something that's not quite what it originally was, but is something very popular for hobby. Now, I'm not saying go and breed balloon fish like these red-eye tetras. I don't really like them. I think they're not great, but I think the natural form looks much better. But what I would do, I would look at Siamese algae eaters. Now, here you see the Siamese algae eaters in the tank, so you can get a relative feel of what the size is when you buy them in the shop. And the reason why people buy these Siamese algae eaters is, of course, they eat blackbeard algae second to none. As you can see, this little guy chomping away at the blackbeard algae. So you want to buy them as small as possible, tiny even if you can, and that's when they eat the blackbeard algae. But as they grow bigger, they stop eating the blackbeard algae and they concentrate more on your normal fish food, and they're very good at getting to that food. And when they grow into a substantially sized fish, they grow quite big, you know, to the extent that long term you probably need a 55-gallon to keep them. And they stop eating algae and they're kind of a drab sort of colorless fish. So how about, I've seen people select fish breeds for size, breeding giant guppies and so forth. If there's a breeding expert out there, something that I would really like to see is a dwarf Siamese algae eater. If somebody out there wants to select Siamese algae eaters and breed them so that they become smaller and smaller, let's say that they become no more than 3 inches. If you can breed a sort of a mini Siamese algae eater, it doesn't become as big as that. That would be fantastic. It's just a much longer, better term option for a tank, because that's always a dilemma. You know, it's the only thing in my experience that really dig into the blackbeard algae. Amanos, you know, I've tried Amanos now. They're not nearly as good as getting to a blackbeard algae as Siamese algae eaters are, although they'll eventually get there. But the Siamese algae eaters, eventually they're just these big fish that no longer eat blackbeard algae, and then they just take up space in your tank. So if somebody out there is listening, it would really be a hit, I think, if you can breed a Siamese algae eater strain that don't grow as big, that stays around 2-3 inches. That would be fantastic. Then, sticking on to that theme, then the other things relate to shrimp. Now, in the past, I had a marine tank and I had these cleaner shrimps, and I also had a fire shrimp. And those shrimps were much bigger and hardier, and I loved those shrimps. They just ate whatever the fish spat out, and they were about the size of my thumb eventually. So they were a couple of inches. It was a more sizable shrimp without being the size of a crayfish or anything. Now, I love those shrimps. Now, if you look at the freshwater shrimp here, looking at the tank, you can see what the size of the shrimps are relative to already nano fish like a celestial pearl danio. They're tiny, and these days I get older like everybody, and I've got multifocal spectacles now sometimes on, and I have to strain to see these tiny little shrimps. Now, I've got shrimps that are fire red cherry shrimps, and as far as freshwater shrimps go, they're now huge, and they still about only, the biggest one is 2.5 centimeters, 1 inch. Now, that's a good size. I can see them properly. So what I would like is if any of your shrimp breeders out there can select for size. Breed always wonderfully colored freshwater shrimps, but make them bigger. Make always great colors of Neocaridina and Caridina shrimp. Try to breed them so they can get the size of Amano shrimps. If they can get about, let's say, 1.5 to 2 inches. You know, if they were just bigger, I would much prefer it than the tiny shrimps. I think that'll just look much better. So if somebody there can select to grow bigger Caridinas, Neocaradinas, these colorful shrimps, can get them to just be maybe twice the size that you find them now, that will be something that I would really be interested in. Tell me in the comments, do you think it would be nicer to have these freshwater shrimps just a little bigger? You know, and you think it can be done to select for better size? Well, that's it from me, guys. Those are my ideas. If I had to start fish breeding tomorrow to make a few bucks, where I'm staying for water I would definitely try and breed cardinal tetras. And if I were a master breeder and I was into genetics and selective breeding, I would really try to breed a mini Siamese algae eater and a maxi Caridina or Neocaridina shrimp. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe, and until we see each other again, remember to take good care of those domestic denizens of the deep.